Jürgen Klopp has found his new Marco Reus. Considering that Liverpool closed the transfer window early this summer, the interest in the players continues. Although the Reds still deny the transfer claims, it displays a dynamic image in the market. This brings to mind that it could be a transfer strategy. Jürgen Klopp is happy with the formation of his roster, and while a midfield transfer seems to be a priority next summer, another midfielder is likely to be bought. Roberto Firmino came to the fore with his decline in form, as everyone is aware. Last season, he stopped being a top team player and was trapped in the bench. He has now become a latecomer to the game, and it is very difficult for Klopp to find a place in his team. The star striker may have entered a decline in his career due to the decline of his form and the injuries he suffered last season. So a change can happen in Liverpool. Instead, the prominent name is Lyon star player Lucas Paqueta. Lyon winger Lucas Paqueta, who can also play on the edge of the diamond in the midfield, is a player who has been on the market for a long time and has not yet turned 25, although he is thought to be quite advanced. He scored 11 goals and provided 7 assists for Lyon in tough League One matches last season. He has a lot of features Liverpool would want. Compared to other attacking midfielders and wingers, Paqueta is in the 99th percentile for interceptions and the 96th percentile for pressures. His defensive stats seem to have improved, and Thierry Henry was among those praising his stellar off-the-ball effective play last season. Paqueta's relationship with the ball is excellent. He is in the 84th percentile for completed dribbles, 87th percentile for progressive passes and 94th percentile for progressive passes, and is compared to Philippe Coutinho. Paqueta, who previously had a more flashy game and seemed more selfish in an individual sense, improved himself and managed to integrate himself into disciplined play, team play and work ethic. While playing in Milan, he wanted to contribute more individually and struggled to present recitals, while he evolved himself into a team player in League One and managed to have features that can show himself in the market while increasing his performance. Based on the stats on FBref, Marco Reus is second on the list of the most similar players in style, and there are also Kingsley Coman and Serge Gnabry in the top 10, which gives an idea of his directness on the ball and his current traits. Paqueta, who can play in the centre or right wing, can replace Mohamed Salah and also replace Firmino in the Liverpool attack. Arsenal and Newcastle United stand out as the other two teams that could make moves for Paqueta this summer. Both clubs are said to have been asked to take action for Paqueta with a drastic price cut. It was rumoured that Lyon wanted £68 million for the star player at the start of the transfer window, but this has remained an unattainable figure. Because no team has reached this figure. Now, according to reports in the French press, Lyon is waiting for a £34 million bid for Paqueta. If Liverpool gets the star name in their ranks, Jürgen Klopp may have found his Marco Reus years later. Since the player has versatility, he can cure the bleeding wound in the midfield. Another departure in Liverpool. Liverpool have announced that Rhys Williams will spend the season on loan at Championship side Blackpool. The 21-year-old, who signed a long-term contract last year, was allowed to move to Bloomfield Road to get more time and experience. Williams was on a season deal with Championship team Swansea City, but things didn't go as planned and the young player returned to Liverpool in January after playing just 7 games. After the comeback, he did well in U23 and made a place for himself on the bench in the A team. The defender, who joined Liverpool at the U10 level, made his debut in the 2020-2021 season, where he played 19 games. While Jürgen Klopp's side has earned an unexpected Champions League qualification, he has been at the heart of the defence alongside Nat Phillips in their last 5 games. Blackpool is managed by Michael Appleton, who replaced Neil Critchley in the summer after former Liverpool U23s coach Steven Gerrard agreed to join Aston Villa as head coach. Despite Williams' temporary departure, Liverpool are open to permanent offers for Nat Phillips. The 25-year-old player, who spent the second half of last season helping Bournemouth promote to the Premier League, is attracting attention from clubs in the Championship and Germany, with Kiraz following. Liverpool wants the player to be sent on a testimonial, not on loan, and income is expected. As one Brazilian comes, another may leave. Roberto Firmino enters the new season with great uncertainty. With the Egyptian striker, Salah made it clear where he stood for at least a few more years and extended the contract. Jürgen Klopp will have made it clear to his players what his intentions are with Naby Keita and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in the final year of their contract, but for the rest, no details have been released yet. It looks like Keita will agree to an extension as Liverpool are willing to offer him a new contract. It looks like Oxlade-Chamberlain will resume as a free agent next summer, by then she'll be weeks before she turns 30. Still, things seem to be in balance with Firmino. The Brazilian star is 30 years old and will turn his next birthday in October. He has entered the last year of his contract and of course has a difficult decision to make. Last year, he suffered several injuries and his performance deteriorated. While he was in form, his numbers were actually quite good in terms of goals, but he did not give a full performance. If these injury issues continue next season, extending his contract seems like a bad idea. If he shows signs of recovery, there may always be a question mark in their minds. Gini Wijnaldum looked like an obvious player to win a new contract, but Liverpool did not make such a decision. Brutal decisions like this have to be made to stay on top. Ajax striker Antony is reportedly a player Liverpool are investigating for him. Manchester United and several other teams are said to be interested in him. However, incoming reports suggest that the Reds are having so-called talks. The Brazilian player, who has played for the national team 33 times, has made 26 goals and 26 assists in 115 games since moving from Sao Paulo to Ajax. It has been linked to Liverpool for some time and that has some meaning. He is at the right stage of his career to be able to take the next step and is likely to go to the next level after transferring. He stands out for his Champions League experience and the many features that could make him attractive to some of the top clubs. Moreover, it should not be overlooked that Ajax, whose jersey he wore, has brought many talents to the world market in recent years. It would make sense for Liverpool to be willing and they will no doubt be aware of it. If Antony is someone Liverpool really wants and the young Brazilian striker moves this year instead of next year, then a brutal Firmino decision could come. The star midfielder has one more season to justify Liverpool's £52 million transfer spend and Michael Edwards. There have been constant ups and downs for Naby Keita at Liverpool. Just as Guinea is finally on her way to realizing her world-class potential, she suffers an injury. But last season was, in a sense, a turning point for Liverpool's number 8. Keita has made a total of 40 appearances for the Reds, more than in previous seasons, and has accounted for close to 35% of his total appearances at the club since his arrival almost 4 years ago. Despite Keita's occasional outstanding performances, her chart of falling and rising forms continued. But there was still a lot of mediocre performance, so only 25 of 40 games started in the starting 11, and only 14 of those starts were in Premier games. Despite the club's heavy £52 million investment to bring him from Leipzig to Anfield, he is still not the first choice in Jürgen Klopp's starting lineup. Keita is perfect for Jürgen Klopp's gegenpress and has a talent for setting the pace of the Liverpool midfield. We've certainly seen this side of him more often than in previous seasons, but it looks like his next goal will be to overcome his injury problems and expand his performance throughout the season and strive to be a stable player. At 27, he is fast becoming one of the team's most experienced players, and with just 1 year left on his contract, this season marks the fateful year for the Guinean international to prove and justify his worth to Liverpool. Michael Edwards decided to fully pay the high transfer fee for him in 2018. Looks like Keita has one last chance with Liverpool. If he can build on his momentum from last season and improve his form, he could prove Liverpool justified in waiting for their ideal midfielder. But if Keita returns to the Tide, it will be brutally seen that she has no place on the team. It's up to Guinea to try her luck. Liverpool created the perfect environment for him to do so by bringing in an injury specialist to work with him last year. There are no more excuses for Keita anymore. The 27-year-old player definitely needs to explode next season. Otherwise, Liverpool will be reluctant to extend their deal and the Reds will continue their search for new midfielders.